I made this trailer about 30 years ago, and I've tipped it up to look at the suspension units. I'm a bit wary about them. And that's what I found. So I'm going to have to get some new ones. I'm not sure what make these were. And they need to fit on this mounting plate. Got a gap there between the tyre and that bracket. The thickness of my finger. And then the bracket steps out a bit towards the wheel. These are mini hubs and wheels. This rust here is off the suspension units. That plate itself is galvanized. That's still in good condition. I've ordered some new suspension units. I'm going to be fitting a heavier duty type than was on before. So I've had to take the frame off. That's all the frame is. So to get the new suspension units on, I'm going to have to alter the size of this plate. Different hole positions. So I'll have to cut those off. And the body just bolts onto that with 8 bolts. 4 there on the tow bar. And 2 bolts on each end of that axle beam. So there's 2 there, 2 the other side, and 4 where the tow bar fixes. Just starting to take these plates off. And cutting through this weld all the way around here. When the new plate goes on, it'll be one plate from about here, and it'll have a right angle bend and go straight up there. It won't have this doglegging because the suspension unit is a different size and the fixing holes are more over this way. So that part of the plate will be in the same place. It'll come straight down here, 90-degree bend, and then bend that way. I'll make that new plate out of stainless steel. This is galvanized, so I'll have to just clean the galvanize away just from the edge of where I'm welding. Got the old plates off. Made 2 new stainless steel ones. So that'll be welded on there. It'll be drilled there where it bolts onto the body. lining up the new plates. New plates welded on. Stainless steel weld. Also welded some stainless steel lugs here. And there to stop the plywood bottom panel from rattling against the chassis. Now I'm working on the towing hitch and putting a new one on. To get the trailer to sit level, it needs 50mm spacer between the underside of the towing hitch and the tow bar. So I've made that out of stainless steel. I've got some sleeves inside those holes to reinforce the box section. It's only a 2mm wall thickness. And the other thing I've got to do, there has to be a secondary coupling in the way of a cable or a chain in case this comes unhitched. So I'm using a chain. So I'm going to fix the chain to the underside of that bracket there, the two ends, and then it'll be double chain looped around the tow ball. That's the bracket made up. That chain's a bit long at the moment, but it'll probably be about this length. And they just hook over the towing ball on the towing vehicle. And then the towing hitch will be on top of there. Just clean that weld up a bit. So that'll fit on the tow bar. It'll be bolted through there. So that fits on there. Be bolted through. Another job I've done, taken the old seals out of the hubs. They were worn, so I'm putting some new ones in there. Cleaned them up, got a coat of paint on. Needs another coat. We finished off in a black. new seals have come. So to fit those, I'm going to be using this bolt to clamp them in with. I'll put a 3-inch diameter spacer there, so the spacer will fit around there. Slip the hub over the top, and then put the seal on, and put this smaller spacer on, a washer, and clamp it down with a nut. Seals in. That's all the parts of the trailer painted, ready to fit. New suspension units. I'm also going to be fitting some suspension bump stops. These are for the old classic Mini. They'll need a bracket, so I'm going to fit those so that if the trailer gets overloaded a bit, it'll rest on the bump stops. I've stuck some black tape on the bottom of the trailer where the chassis fits to stop the paint sticking to the bottom of the trailer. The paint is dry, but it'll take quite a while for it to harden properly. New suspension units are fitted. I would have liked an extra 5mm or so between the tyre and the bodywork, but I couldn't get this suspension unit any further that way, otherwise I wouldn't have got that bolt in because of this tow bar frame. But that's about where it was before. Just sorting the towing hitch out. When I originally made this tow bar, I think I got it a little bit short, so when I made this spacer block, I made it so that it extends the tow bar by 76mm. So instead of the towing hitch bolting on those two holes, it bolts on these two. Towing hitch fitted. Just got to bolt the chain on for the secondary coupling. Just in the middle of fitting the bump stops. Welded this bracket on here, this piece, with a bolt through there. And then this bracket will be welded on there. And then the bump stop will be bolted onto there. I've made some little adapters here so as the height of the bump stops can be altered. Those brackets are finished now. Now the bump stop just bolts onto there. I've got a 4mm PVC shim between the bump stop and the adapter, and then the adapter bolts onto the bracket. And that's what they look like with the wheels on. That's the chain fitted. Also got a padlock through it, and that stops the chain lifting off the tow ball, and it makes it more difficult for anybody to pinch the trailer.